Hello. Yes, this is the museum. No, this is Arthur Pym, the curator's assistant. Yes, just a moment. I think I know where I can find him.
For me?
Yes, sir.
Grove here? Yes, Inspector. Yes? What? How bad is the damage? That's terrible. Yes, I can get down there immediately. Right, Inspector. Oh, there's been a fire at the warehouse. I need the list of everything we've stored there. Pym, I need the list.
Oh, yes, sir. Here it is, sir. And, yeah, this is the Prague invoice.
Come along, Pym. Let's get down there. Good evening.
Evening.
Gutted. Completely gutted.
Curator Grove, I'm Inspector White. My assistant Wayne and Police Officer Turner.
He's my assistant, Arthur Pym.
How do you do, Mr. Pym?
How do you do?
We're investigating the cause of the fire.
All those treasures gone. May we look around, Inspector?
Yes, certainly. We'll leave you to it. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Looks pretty hopeless, Pym. Well, perhaps we shall find something here to salvage. Pym, look.
I see.
Apparently undamaged. That's as fine a piece of mid-European primitive as I've ever seen. About 1550, I'd say. Pym. Pym, do you hear me?
Oh, yes, I hear you.
Can you read this? Oh, come closer. What's the matter? Are you afraid of it?
Afraid? What's there to be afraid of? It's just a lump of stone.
It looks like some kind of inscription here. Do you have your glass with you?
Oh, yes, here.
Ah, thanks. Yes, there is an inscription. In Hebrew.
There's a large torch in the car. Would you like me to get it for you?
Yes, that'd be very helpful. Can you get it quickly?
Yes. Mother, you know, it is silly. You're sitting alone in the dark like that. Now, it's absolutely ridiculous. I know it's wrong. I'm just upset because I'm late getting home. Well, I couldn't help it. I've had the most terrible day. I'll be right there. You know what happened? The warehouse caught on fire. Yeah. Grove was killed. It was awful. Yeah, but you know what it means, though? Tomorrow morning, the board of directors will have to meet to choose a new curator. Yeah, a successor. Oh, and it's bound to be me. It's just got to be. After the way that I've worked all these years. Oh, you're going to be so proud of me. Mother, can you hear me? Oh. I know what's wrong with you. I know why you're sulking. Because I haven't prepared your dinner. Well, I will, right away. Sometimes, Mother, I think you're just plain cranky. I think that you should have a companion come here to stay with you. You're alone so much of the time, it just isn't fair. Ah, you know now. Now Ellen may have some more time to spend with me. Oh, look, you needn't get jealous. You come first, you always will. Oh, I brought you home another jewel. Now that proves it, doesn't it? But you simply must stop asking me to bring these home. It's very difficult. It's just not right. But it's all very well for you to say that I can get them back undetected, but when something goes wrong, I don't think that they would understand that you merely like to wear them for a couple of hours. Now. But this I have to get back first thing in the morning. And that is not going to be easy. What with all the hubbub about Grove's death. There we go.
Where are Grove's keys?
His keys? Well, he had them on him, didn't he?
I checked his office. They're not there. The yard found no keys on him. Maybe I'd better call them back. Perhaps that was a motive for his death.
Oh, but they must be around here someplace.
I can't take any chances. Get me the yard. Inspector White, please.
I know where they are. Yeah, I know, yes. Ah, yeah. Just as I thought. Here they are.
Good. Thank you, Pim.
You're welcome, sir. The new statue is being installed just as Mr. Grove planned before last night.
That's very efficient of you, Pim.
Thank you, sir.
You've been waiting to hear the result of the Board of Trustees meeting, haven't you? Well, I want you to know that we're all aware of the splendid work you've done as Mr. Grove's assistant, and you're not to go unrewarded. There will be a £3 weekly raise in your salary. That's about £150 a year.
Oh, £150 a year.
As knowledgeable as you are, we think you're a little too young to take on Mr. Grove's position. We've asked Professor Wheel to consider the curatorship. He's agreed. You, of course, will continue as his assistant, and in the meantime, we expect you to carry on, as you always have, with efficiency, courtesy, and interest. Good day, Pim.
With efficiency, courtesy, and interest.
Who's clearing this table, you or me?
Been on my back all morning. That's the day off.
You mind your tone with me.
If you don't like it, you know what you can do with your job, don't you?
Quiet! Really? Where do you think you are?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Pim.
Have you finished?
Yes.
Never had such blooming trouble on a job before. Started the minute we picked this up. Looks like some kind of primitive god of wrath or something. Look at the 8 in its face. That's what killed the old man. 8.
Come on now, this is the 20th century.
Yeah? You just look around and see what's going on. The world's full of hate.
If you don't mind.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got carried away. I tell you, it's that thing. It's full of hate.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Doesn't belong there.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Pym.
Oh, that's all right.
So this is your new piece?
Yes. Yes. That is it.
Well, tell me, how would you like it lit? With the right spots, we could really bring out its fierceness, you know.
If I were you, I would not mock it.
Why, it's not alive. I may be an electrician, but I can sculpt better than that.
You do whatever you want. I shall be in my office.
Morning. Morning, Mr. Pym.
Good morning, Inspector White. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
It's, in there.
What time does the museum normally open?
11:30. It's 11:15 now.
I'm afraid you're going to have to keep it closed till we're through here.
Of course. Arthur, would you make sure the temporarily closed sign is put on the door?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I was with Alice. It was about 10:30. See, he was our electrician, and we were discussing various ways in which to light the new statue. All of a sudden, I got this, well, it was just a frightening feeling. Alice laughed at it, but I left. It couldn't have been more than a minute later when I heard this scream and then a crash. I ran back here and I found him.
And then?
I ran to my office and I called you, and I've turned off the alarm, of course.
Anyone been in here since you left?
No. Oh, I told the guard to put the sheet over the body.
Why'd you do that?
Why, I don't know. It just came into my mind, I suppose.
Inspector? Well, here's the cause of the alarm.
Well, look at that.
Anything missing?
No, doesn't seem to be.
Why would anyone break the case then?
Well, I should imagine to steal that diamond, the Star of the Nile. It's very valuable. But I suppose the crash must have frightened them off.
You say it took 3 men and a hoist to install the statue?
Oh, yes, it weighs over 3,000 pounds. At first I thought it had been struck by lightning. How could it have tipped over by itself?
It's most unlikely that it did.
But I tell you, I was out of this room for less than a minute. Could a statue strike one? Well, I know it sounds mad, but unless there is some life in it, how can one explain those deaths?
Aren't you letting your imagination run away with you, Mr. Pym?
Do you remember its arms? Do you remember how they extended like this? That is how they were the first time I saw them. Now, right after Grove's death, one arm was lower than the other. Yet this morning, when they moved that statue in here, the arms were like that again. I swear it. You think I'm seeing things, don't you?
Well, let's just say we don't see what you see, Mr. Pym.
There are certain unseen things that are more real than those which you can see and touch. I know that.
In other words, Mr. Pym, you're suggesting that these deaths were not accidents, but murders.
Those people flocking to see that monstrous statue. It's just ghoulish.
It's the newspapers.
I saw it. Something uncanny, frightening about it. It makes me feel my father's death was no accident.
I feel that way, too. Oh, but the inspector, it's no good trying to convince him. Ellen, will you look around and see if I've overlooked any of your father's things?
I'm sure you have them all.
Ellen, I do know how you must feel. Look, my mother and I, we were talking, and we were wondering if you might like to take a drive with us and look at the new house we're planning to buy.
Some other time. Thank you, Pym.
It's always some other time.
Now, Pym, you must try to understand. I like you very much as a friend, but...
I know. Oh, I know.
Now, don't pout. Well, if it means that much to you, I'll go.
You will?
Yes. I didn't know you were buying a house.
Oh, well, it's my mother's, actually, but eventually, when I get married...
Yes, I'm sure.
Ellen, would it mean a great deal to you if I could prove that your father's death was not an accident?
Yes. Do you really think you can?
Yes.
How?
Well, let's just say that I have a way with the supernatural.
Pim, they've broken a glass case downstairs, those hordes of people.
I know, sir, but there hasn't been any other damage, and I've arranged for extra guard.
I won't have that statue in this place.
Oh, Mr. Trimmingham, the notoriety will quieten down shortly.
Suppose it doesn't. Suppose some other fool gets himself killed near it. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Grove. I didn't mean to imply that
Mr.
your
Trimmingham,
father...
there's absolutely no reason...
Save your breath, Pim. The New York Museum have wired me a handsome offer if it's authentic. Their representative is on his way here now by plane.
How was your flight?
Very pleasant. I slept most of the way.
There he is. Perhaps a little more light would help.
Yes, it might. Thank you.
Well, I must say I am bewildered. You're coming all the way from America. Just look at this. By the way, wasn't it at your museum that the so-called authentic Etruscan statue turned out to be a fake?
No, that was at the Metropolitan Museum.
Oh, yes, of course. Oh, I've been assistant curator at this museum for years now. And, well, from my experience, I don't think it's so difficult to duplicate a statue. Oh, granted, of course, you can get the correct materials.
Perhaps. But there's a little matter of artistry, too, you know.
Yes. If you're dealing with a Rodin or Brancusi. But not a primitive. Hey, it's almost their lack of artistry that proves that they are primitive. Oh, I think any half-baked artist could imitate one. I bet those experts felt like fools when they found out that Etruscan was a fake.
What do you think of this one?
Oh, what did Mr. Trimmingham tell you?
He said it was authentic.
Well, he said so.
I see.
What is it?
There's some writing here on this roll. You can just about make it out if you look at it from this direction with the light bouncing off it. Have you made a rubbing of this yet?
No.
Well, we can do that later.
Wouldn't that be the simplest part to fake?
Well, here's some more. It's in Hebrew. Power bringeth destruction. Beware lest it be unleashed. That saying was supposed to have been engraved on the original golem.
Golem?
Yes, a Hebrew statue created out of stone to serve the community. Legend has it ran amok one day and was said to have disappeared.
You mean it was a sort of Frankenstein?
No, not created out of parts of people, but more like a Roman statue of Mars or a Greek Zeus. It had no reason or will of its own. It could only take orders.
Was this creature real, or did you say it was legend?
Well, history sometimes becomes legend, you know. No, there were a few made. The first was in 1550 by an Eliza de Helm. And then Judah Low, who lived from 1513 to 1609, was said to have made one in Prague. The last recorded one was by a Baal Shem Tov in 1700.
My heavens, you are well informed. Now, I'm curious. If this creature were made of stone, how did they bring it to life?
A little scroll bearing the word Emeth, which in Hebrew means the word of God, was placed under the tongue of the golem, and that gave it life.
Oh.
There's an interesting point about that. Wait a minute. Look at this. Judah Low. Prague, 1500 and... I can't make out the other two numbers. Do you happen to have a penknife on you?
Oh, yes, of course.
I'll make some scrapings if you don't mind. If the composition of this stone dust is traceable to Prague, I'm reasonably certain that this is authentic. It's incredible.
Oh, well, I'm a bit skeptical myself.
Well, you've been very cooperative. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Remember the Etruscan.
I'll remember. You can tell Mr. Trimmingham I'll have an answer for him very shortly.
You really do believe it's authentic, don't you?
Well, let's just say I'm inclined to, despite the Etruscan.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were alone.
Oh, that's all right, Ellen. I'd like you to meet Mr. Perkins, Mr. Trimmingham's new secretary, Miss Grove.
How do you do?
I wondered who you were.
Oh, you've met?
Oh, no, I just happened to see Miss Grove coming out of Mr. Trimmingham's office.
Oh, well, thank you.
Look, I don't want to appear forward, but would you two care to have dinner with me tonight? I mean, I've never been to London before, and I don't know anyone here. Perhaps we could meet for a drink first. Anything you like.
That's very nice of you.
How about you?
I don't know.
Oh, Mr. Perkins is a gentleman from New York who may take the statue back with him. He knows an awful lot about it. It's very interesting.
Well, I am interested, but...
Well, then it's all settled. Where shall we meet?
I forgot. I am sorry. I can't go. I've got some very important papers I must go through.
Oh, that's too bad. Some other time then, huh? Oh, Miss Grove, it looks like you've been practically inveigled into this date.
So I have. See you later, Pim.
And I'll see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Good morning, Pim, and how are you?
You look cheerful.
From Mr. Trimmingham. He's made some notes on them for you.
Oh, thank you. Tell me, did you talk to Perkins last night about the statue?
It won't bring Father back.
That's strange. Yesterday you seemed determined to prove that your father's death was not an accident. Yet this morning...
I feel the sooner that statue's on its way to New York, the better.
Oh. Oh, well, first of all, of course, it must be authenticated.
Mr. Perkins thinks it's authentic. You do.
No. I never said that. I merely said that... Well, I felt there was some strange power that lurked within it.
Oh, Pim.
I suppose he knows more than I do. He's had more experience.
Now, there's no sense in getting upset over Jim. In fact, he asked you to lunch with us today. He's quite good company.
I'm sure he is. Well, you just tell Jim that I'm sorry I can't make it. I have a very important appointment at the library today. And I'm not kidding. It's the truth. Look, I'm not upset or jealous or hurt or anything like that.
I'll tell him. See you later.
Good evening.
Sit down.
You have it.
This is a most rare thing. I don't believe that you got it off some stone, as you said. If I translate it for you, will you agree to tell me the truth?
Yes.
Very well. He who will find the secret of my life at his feet, him will I serve until beyond time. He who shall evoke me in the 17th century, beware, for I cannot by fire be destroyed. He who shall evoke me in the 18th century, beware, for I cannot by fire or by water be destroyed. He who evokes me in the 19th century, beware, for I cannot by fire or by water or by force be destroyed. He who in the 20th century shall dare evoke me, beware, for neither by fire nor water nor force nor anything by man created can I be destroyed. He who in the 21st century evokes me must be of God's hand himself, because on this earth the person of man existeth no more. Now tell me, where did you get this?
I traced it off an old statue that came from Czechoslovakia. Does it have any significance?
Significance? That statue is the great golem, believed to have been destroyed centuries ago. If it is still in existence, if, I say, it is probably the most powerful force on Earth today.
More powerful than the H-bomb.
A bomb is finished when it has exploded, but the golem will go on and on forever, serving or destroying.
What do you mean, serving?
It will obey whoever places the magic scroll beneath its tongue.
Where does one get this magic scroll?
If I knew that, I would not reveal it to you. Power destroys.
Yes. I appreciate your help.
I fear it.
May I have it, please? And the translation?
Yes, you may. Take it and read it again carefully.
I will.
I don't know why that sign maker didn't show up. Pim, will you find someone else to put Mr. Wheel's name up in place of Groves today?
Yes, sir.
Before noon, please. Well, young man, so you're my assistant. Well, now that I'm the curator, you may find things a little different. I'm pretty much of a stickler. A bit of a fusspot, as you might say, but I get things done. I understand Mr. Grove was a kidder. I'm not. I have no sense of humor. So if you do what's expected of you, we'll get along swimmingly. If not, that's all for now.
Yes, sir. I am attuned to the spirit world. My mother has conducted seances from the time I've been 4 years old. I, too, have contacted the spirits. And I know There is a spirit in you that can hear me. Tell me, where is the scroll? You can fulfill the purpose for which you were created. I will help you. Together, we can help the world. Tell me, where is the scroll?
Working or admiring the art?
Studying it, sir.
Mr. Pym, I would like to inaugurate a rule. No one, and that includes all employees except the night watchman, is to have access to any of the art rooms without my personal approval. I hope that is clear.
But, sir, we've never had a
I
restriction.
say it is a new regulation. Now, you either follow instructions or... You don't want any problems, do you?
No, sir.
Good night, then.
Good night, sir.
So you're the big bugaboo. You don't look so villainous to me.
No, it was not my imagination. You did give me a sign. You pointed down. He who will find the secret of my life at his feet. He who will find the secret of my life at his feet. Feet. And now, if you were off that pedestal, and your feet would be close to my feet. Aha! You mean your feet? Yeah! I am your master. Lower your arms. Oh. I am your master.
So you're flaunting my orders. You're sacked. Get out immediately.
You are a bitter, frustrated old man. What makes you think I want to work for you anyway?
Don't you dare talk to me like that, young man. Statue's arms.
Mr. Wheel, why did you have to come back here anyway?
What are you doing? Let me get out of here.
Mr. Wheel, now...
God! Mr. God!
Please, don't...
Kill him!
Come here. Smash this case. I am your master, and I say, smash that case. Go back to your pedestal and raise your arms.
Inspector White, what is it?
May we come in?
It's late.
This isn't a social call.
Oh, yes, of course. Come in.
Would you care to sit down?
No, thanks. Mr. Pym, when did you last see Mr. Wheel?
Mr. Wheel? About 7 o'clock last evening. I ran into him as I was leaving my office. Has something happened?
Mr. Wheel has been found dead in the room of that statue. The one you call the Golem. Mr. Pym, what time did you say you left the museum?
About 7. I went to see an old film. A revival of a 1924 German film. It's about a golem, too. It's very interesting.
You come directly home after the film?
Yes. Oh, I bought a package of cigarettes. I can prove that. And then I came home, and I read for a while, and then I went to sleep.
I understand your mother lives here with you, Mr. Pym?
Yes.
Can I speak with her?
Well, she's asleep.
It would be simpler if I did.
But you can't wake her up now. She hasn't been well, and she was asleep anyway when I came home.
In other words, she has no way of knowing what time you came home.
Yes. What are you trying to do?
I'm just checking everyone who saw Mr. Wheel last night.
Well, what motive would I have? I just met him.
You'll be acting curator again now, won't you, Mr. Pym?
I suppose so.
Well, thank you for your help, Mr. Pym. We won't take up any more of your time.
You're welcome.
Oh, your mother will be available should I want to speak with her.
Yes.
Fine. Well, thank you, Mr. Pym. We'll see ourselves up. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, good night. Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, Pym, good morning.
You look so preoccupied.
I was thinking about last night.
So you've heard.
Well, Jim and I discovered the body. It was ghastly.
What happened?
Jim wanted to see Mr. Trimmingham last night, and he thought he was at the museum.
And?
Well, he received a report from the lab on the dust he collected from the golem. And so he wired America that as far as he was concerned, the golem was authentic and was arranging to have it shipped off immediately.
But he can't do that.
Well, I'm afraid he is.
Ellen, would you have lunch with me today? There's something I want to talk to you about.
Oh, well, Jim said he'd call me about lunch this morning.
Please. It's very, very important to me.
All right, I'll see you for lunch. It's late.
Oh, don't worry. I can handle Trimmingham.
It's not my doing, Mr. Perkins. I'd like to have that statue out of here as much as you would. But Inspector White said that nothing in this room is to be touched until further notice.
Of course, you realize that this is liable to affect our deal. With all the adverse publicity that statue's been getting lately, there's a strong possibility our board of trustees may decide they want no part of it themselves.
I couldn't blame them. Did you see today's headlines? The curse of the golem strikes again. You might think that it was alive.
Yes, one might.
Ah, thank you.
Pim, I've never seen you like this before.
Is that good or is that bad?
What did you want to talk to me about this morning? You're so different, so self-confident.
Just because I left a generous tip for the waiter?
Oh, well, it isn't just that.
Well, I do feel wonderful. Come on, let's go. Would you believe me if I told you that I felt that I could do almost anything?
I think you've been working too hard.
You don't believe me?
What you need is a good holiday.
All right. How about 2 weeks on the Riviera?
Oh, I'd love it. Well, let's stay at the Ritz in Cannes and have caviar for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And in the evening, we'll go to the casino in Monte Carlo.
Stop it, Ellen. I'm not joking.
But you can't be serious, Pim.
I tell you, I can do incredible things. Look, see that bridge over there?
Yes.
Well, I can knock that bridge over just like that.
Well, it's getting late. Thank you for lunch, Pim. It was wonderful.
Come with me. When you hear me whistle, you come out and climb into the van. Remember, when you hear me blow the horn 3 times, that's your signal. After you're finished, you know where I'll be waiting. Go.
Any trouble?
Oh, no.
Pretty late. Parked out here.
Well, you see, I was on my way home and I stopped to think for a moment.
Why did you sound your horn? I'd like to see your license, sir.
Well, with
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news flash. Hammersmith Bridge has just collapsed. An official report says that at least one bus filled with passengers has fallen into the Thames. Divers are descending to search for other vehicles. None of the victims have been identified as yet. We shall bring you any further news at the next bulletin.
That's unbelievable. Yes, hello? Who? Oh, Pym, I didn't recognize your voice. Well, yes, I heard it a moment ago. Well, I remember you saying something, but I didn't take it seriously. Oh, now, don't blame yourself. Just go home and sleep it off. He's raving about the golem and having to confess to someone. Now, Pym, just go home and sleep. You'll see it all differently in the morning. Well, no, I can't see you now. It's too late. We'll talk about it tomorrow, if you still remember what you said. Well, I'll see you, Pym, if it's so important. In about 10 minutes? Alone? Yes, I'll be alone. Jim, why did you make me see him? He's had too much to drink.
Don't worry, Ellen. I'm going, not you. There's something I'm very curious about.
The statue? Well, you don't think Pym had anything to do with it, do you?
No, it's just a hunch. But if there is something, I'd just as soon you weren't around.
What are you looking for?
Something so incredible, I'd rather not even talk about it. Where's Pym now?
He's at the museum.
I'll be back.
Come in.
There's that American, Mr. Perkins, wanting to see you, sir.
Perkins?
He said you were expecting Miss Grove.
Oh, show him up.
Yes, sir.
Pym?
What happened to Ellen?
She couldn't make it. But she felt that you wanted to talk to someone rather urgently, so she asked me to come over in her place.
Oh, why didn't she call me?
I really don't know.
Well, that doesn't sound like her.
She felt that you were rather upset. Something about an accident and a statue.
Oh. Ooh, see, I think it is a little bit too much of that. Oh, do you want to join me?
No, I don't mind.
Thank you. I wanted to tell Ellen about some news that I received. Here. Read that. Oh, it just means that I'll be doing the same thing that I've been doing all along. But at the end of 6 months, Trimmingham will recommend me to the Board of Trustees as curator. Imagine, me, curator, the youngest in London.
Well, this certainly calls for congratulations. Cheers.
Thank you.
But surely this isn't what upset you.
Oh, well, you know how women exaggerate. Oh, granted, it was a surprise finding that on my desk. And then you see, my mother has been very ill, and strangely enough, all of a sudden, hearing that report on the radio about the bridge that collapsed, all of that rolled into one, plus this. Well, it made me a little emotional.
I can understand that. Well, now perhaps you'll be able to persuade Inspector White to release the golem to me.
Oh, you don't mean that you want to leave London? I thought you were having a wonderful time. At least Ellen gave me that impression.
Oh, she is a rare girl, that's true, but that has nothing to do with my job. Look, Pym, wouldn't you like to get rid of the golem? Be finished with all the notoriety and problems attending it?
Yes. I tell you what I am going to do. I am going to do everything in my power to help you to get the golem to America.
Well, I'm delighted, Pym, and I'm sure Helen will be, too.
Ellen?
I hope to take her back with me.
Well, you can... She is English.
Oh, come on, Pym, that's no problem. We do speak the same language, you know.
I'm sorry. It's a surprise. I shouldn't drink. Hey, did you say that you wanted to see the golem tonight?
No, I didn't, but I don't mind if I do. In fact, I'd rather like to.
Follow me.
I don't know what it is, but something about it's changed. It seems almost alive.
Oh, well, you just keep staring at it. The feeling will grow even stronger. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking about the origin of the golem. You know, the purpose of its creator was to have it serve the community, to help and protect the people. It was never intended to be used destructively except in their defense.
What if it were used selfishly?
Then the creator would lose his power over it. It would run amok. Remember, it has no reason of its own. Anything could happen.
Are you talking to me personally?
Could be.
Just what is that? Some sort of warning or something?
What do you think?
Who is it? What do you want?
It's me, sir.
I'm busy.
Inspector White is here.
Good evening, Mr. Pym.
Is anything wrong, Inspector?
Just a few questions I want to ask you.
This to Mr. Perkins from the New York Museum. We were discussing the statue. He was waiting for you to release it.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Perkins.
It's my pleasure, Inspector. Tell me, how long will it be before I can take possession of the statue?
I'm afraid I can't tell you at the moment.
I'll see what I can do to persuade the inspector if you'll call me tomorrow morning.
All right. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Where were you tonight, Mr. Pym?
What's happened now?
Just answer my question.
I was in my office. To tell you the truth, I have been celebrating a bit. Mr. Trimmingham has almost assured me of the curatorship.
And how long have you been in this room?
About 5 minutes with Mr. Perkins. Why?
A woman described something she saw walking away from the bridge tonight. Her description matches the statue.
And you believe that?
Everything must be checked.
Oh, yes, of course. All right, then. For the record, no. I do not believe that this statue walked out of this museum tonight. I'm sorry. Tell me, is there any news of the cause of the collapse?
Not yet.
Do you have a clue?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I think we have.
Oh, well, that's very, very good. Oh, I really wish I hadn't had so much to drink tonight.
That's an interesting artifact. Parchment?
Yes. It's very, very old. I'm sorry, Inspector. You see, I thought that I had put this someplace, and there it was, all the time in my pocket.
Well, it's getting late, Mr. Pym.
I'll see you out.
Oh, no need to, thanks. Good night, Mr. Pym.
Good night. Day on Earth. If what Perkins said is true, I can't have you run amok and uncontrolled. You might even do me in. I had to order you to kill Will. If I didn't, would have been fired, finished. As for the jewels, that was using you to steal. As for the bridge, well, that was sheer vanity. But I never meant to hurt anyone. There's something about you, about power. It makes one evil. So, I have to order you to swallow that scroll so that it will never be discovered again. Follow me. Good morning, this is Pym. Is everything all right? No problems? Thank you. Come back. What part of me could have wanted you back?
Mr. Pym! Yes? The door at the side entrance has been forced open.
We'll report it to the yard. I'll see if anything is missing.
Yes, sir.
Come here. This will finish you. Hello? Inspector White? What? Joe Hill dead? But what was he doing in the Golem room? Black? But the Golem's... How did he get burned? I can come down right away. No, I'll call Mr. Trimmingham, all right. Good night. Good night. Oh, God.
If we don't get rid of that thing, we'll have to close down the museum. It's up to you.
You know very well the inspector will not release the statue to Mr. Perkins. Now, what else can I do?
As curator, it's your job.
Pym, I want a word with you.
How did you get in here?
I used the inspector's name. He'll be here shortly.
How do you know?
Because he spent a lot of time with me last night, asking questions about you. And I'm sure he spoke to Ellen, too.
So?
Look, I won't waste any time. I saw you last night leaving the museum with that following you. I followed the van and I saw you set fire to the barn. I always suspected that you had discovered its secret, but I had no idea you were trying to destroy it. Why?
Why? Because power is a curse, because you think you're in control and suddenly it becomes unmanageable. It's leading you and you become its victim.
But don't you realize that you can't burn the golem out of existence?
Oh, yes, I realize that now, but I couldn't have, not at the time. Now, when I traced that inscription, I couldn't have fully believed it. It said, neither fire nor water nor force could destroy it. Well, it's too late now.
Then you must destroy its secret. The scroll.
I can't.
But you must. That's what gave it life in the first place.
I ordered the golem to swallow the scroll. Oh, there's no stopping it now.
Does it still obey you?
To a degree. But I betrayed it. Does anybody else know about this?
No. Although I'm pretty sure the inspector has his suspicions. He feels that you're involved in this in some way. Apparently, there's a policeman who swears that you were sitting in a van near the bridge the night it collapsed. Why don't you try and explain all this to the inspector?
So, that is why you came here. You want me to talk.
What?
You want the golem.
Me? Look, I am trying to help you.
Well, let me tell you this. You can say anything you want. I'll deny everything you say, and you cannot prove a thing.
I shouldn't try and escape, Mr. Pym. We have a policeman on every door.
Inspector White's office. Just a minute.
White speaking. There's been a breakout at the prison hospital. A what? A statue?
That's right, a statue. A statue that Pym brought to life by the use of a scroll.
A scroll? About this size?
Well, I don't know. I never saw it. Why do you ask?
Never mind. You realize it was your duty to have informed us sooner about all this?
Would you have believed me? Anyway, Pym is the only one alive who can even partially control it. I was trying to enlist his cooperation, and I think I would have succeeded if you hadn't put him under observation. Well, now he's escaped and he's got Ellen.
What makes you so certain about that?
Her place was a mess, wasn't it? Your own man said a struggle had taken place there. Oh, Pym's got Ellen, all right. I know that.
We have an alarm out for him. Apparently last night he broke into an undertaker's and stole his mother's dead body. And a hearse, too.
The cloisters won't be open for at least a month.
Cloisters?
Well, didn't your father tell you? It's to be a branch of the museum housing medieval art. The caretaker's a Miss Swanson, retired art teacher. She's very nice. You'll like her. Oh, Miss Swanson!
Oh, it's you, Mr. Pym. Welcome.
Open up. I've a new piece of sculpture for the hall. Come out now. Bring Mother and the casket. I'm going to untie your hands, but you mustn't try anything. Miss Swanson, come here. I would like you to meet Miss Grove. This is my mother, and this is a new statue, the Golem. Miss Swanson! Miss Swanson, you must not do that.
You can't get away with this, Mr. Pym.
You must do as you are told. Follow me.
Miss Swanson, please. It's all right, my dear. I'll help you.
Miss Swanson, mind what you're saying. Come on.
Don't worry, everything will be all right. One match and the whole countryside will come running.
You're making a fire?
That's our only hope of getting out of here. That golem is playing sentinel outside. The phones have been ripped out. A fire's our only chance.
I wish there was some other way.
One more tea with his mother and her friend will drive me mad. Now, I'll leave the door unlocked. You can't stop them.
You fool! I warned you! Get to the gate. Kill anyone who tries to come in. Where do you think you're going?
Please let me go.
Wait, why? No, you're perfectly safe here. That fire cannot penetrate the roof. Oh, that stupid woman.
Please let me go.
No. It's for your own safety. I must lock you in. Yeah.
No more effect than a rifle. Let's try the big one.
Okay.
I tell you, you're wasting your time.
Right, clear the gun. On target.
Fire!
We'll know in a few moments.
You seem to be looking forward to their approval of using it.
What?
I want to live.
Oh, don't worry. We will.
Well, perhaps the golem may be indestructible, but it doesn't mean to say that you and I can't get killed. Don't you realize that? Or are you...
Well, go on. Say it. Mad. Well, if I am, who is to judge?
And so, despite the resistance of many members, the motion to permit the Army to use a small nuclear warhead has just been carried by the slimmest margin. Army headquarters reveal that this device will be ready tomorrow.
I can't do anything, Perkins. It's up to the Army. They were challenged and their guns failed. Their prestige is on the line and nothing will stop them now they've got the green light to use it.
How can they endanger so many innocent lives?
They're only using a small warhead. The destructive power of a mile radius. Everyone within 5 miles of the area has been evacuated.
Only a small warhead.
Mr. Pym! A nuclear warhead has been set to explode in 1 hour. You, Miss Grove and Miss Swanson can leave before it's too late. The effective range is 1 mile. If you plan to leave, hurry, so you can clear the danger zone. Hurry!
If I did go out there, they'd just put me in prison.
So you're not sure you're not vulnerable? You may only be human after all.
Sometimes I just do not understand you. I have brought a golem to life. Now, who else on this earth can bring life to a lump of stone? No one! I shall go down in history. I shall live forever.
Well, what about Mother?
What do you mean, what about Mother?
You love her. You can't allow her to stay here.
Oh, no, stop it.
Let me take her to safety.
You want to separate us, don't you?
No, Pym, it's not that.
It is that. It is just that I can see it right in your face. You want to separate us.
No!
She's told me that. She's told me that all along, and I wouldn't believe her. You want to separate us, but you're not going to!
Thanks.
Get rid of her. I never want to see her again.
$11:45. You'll be able to hear the beeps of the countdown from this speaker.
When does the countdown start?
10 seconds to noon.
Another sign of life. Too bad we can't see more of the castle from here.
Wait a minute. Look.
It's Ellen. Wait! You can't make it!
Two minutes and 5 seconds to go.
She's over a mile from here. Isn't there any way of holding up the explosion?
No, it's on automatic. About half a mile to go before he's out of the danger area.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Wiped out clean. Everything.
I'm not so sure. Take another look.
Take a look. You were right.
What is it?
The golem's still alive. It's moving away towards the sea. Can you imagine the power that Pym had in his grasp?